Happy Wednesday. All right. How's it going, y'all? Lights, camera, action. We're sitting this stream because I won't stand for this. Hey, Rhiannon Journey. How's it going? How are you doing? All right, let's get everything up here. Let's see. Yesterday, we fixed some stuff with the flood fill system. There's still like a really
Logic
weird...
was impeccable, Captain.
Thank you. There's still a really weird bug that occurs. I kind of want to find it because it's really distracting when it happens. It happens a lot. It's almost like the flood fill system like turns the whole thing inside out. It's very strange. Close some of these files here. It's looking like another super chill day on stream, which works for me. All right, so yeah, what happens, which is really interesting, is if we start messing around, if we start poking holes in the compartment, we start poking holes and then sealing them. Like, I'm just going to start poking holes and then undoing it. Watch. You see what's happening here? It gets confused. And it gets confused in a really particular way. Now, if we kind of just wait a while. Yeah, look at this. What is happening? Yeah, it freaks out. It consists, and then it you know, fixes it again. What's interesting is what's going on out here. Just some of this partition data. So I think I'm gonna hook up the debugger. I'm gonna try to trigger this again. Yeah, see? Watch. Now it's just gonna go nanners here. So any compartment after the 0th, after like the exterior compartment, which is outside, any number higher than that is considered indoors, an interior compartment. So there's something happening where like these are being indexed higher than 0. So I just kind of want to run that. I want to run that and I want to see what we're doing. It seems like a fine way to spend time. So we're just gonna write the compartment. Actually, we don't want to write it here. We want to write it. We probably want to write it up here. Actually, we don't even need to write it here. We could write it. We could write it here in the compartment thing here. We could say, where's the partition count getting incremented? Partition count equals 1. So we do all of this, and then partition count gets incremented. So let's just, oop, what did I do? How did I do that? All right, let's just do it here. Because this is kind of the interesting part. So we're just going to kind of see how the system handles this. And I want to keep the debugger up. So I'm going to, actually what I should do is I should run this in the engine like this. So It's a little easier to just have the debugger showing. So if I do this, and I want to be careful that I'm only ever creating one compartment. So 1 is fine. So we're just, there's only one compartment. It's figured that out. But what happens if I start punching holes in? I want to see this number blow up, basically, but I don't know if it's actually doing that. Okay, why am I not seeing the... Oh, God. Is this one of those bugs that goes away when you write a debug statement? Love that. I love... Oh, nope, here it is. Okay, why aren't we getting any more write statements? That was interesting. It basically stopped running during that, while that was happening. Rhiannon Journey. Oh, good. The ones that disappear when observed are the best kind. I love quantum bugs. Yeah. Quantum bugs are the best. Okay, so... I don't know why this wall is freaking out. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to trigger this issue. So why does it stop running when I do something like this? Oh, because it considers all of them exterior. That's correct. What happens if I can I trigger the error again? That's what I want to do. Okay, got it triggered. So interesting. It doesn't consider these to be exterior. Now it's like pretty much back to normal. Oh. Oh, we need to set the I think I kind of understand what might be happening. Hello, Anne. This is your first time seeing this series. What am I making right now? I am working on like an isometric 3D version of kind of the old, I say old, of the game FTL, Faster Than Light. I'm doing kind of like a spaceship kind of simulator game. It's kind of voxelized in that it's 3D, but rendering wise, it's just isometric 2D. So we have this big auto tiler in this tile set editor, which is how I'm doing this. So I can build out these rooms. Right now, we've got a flood fill system that's running that's wigging out a little bit. It's supposed to be calculating where the compartments are. So you can see this is like a lighter gray, which means that it's considered part of the interior. But if we remove that, it's not supposed to be considered that anymore. It freaks out every once in a while, goes all zebra, and then it usually gets back to normal. And so we're kind of just trying to figure out what's going on there. Yeah, it's not recalculating. It's getting in some kind of weird state. And so now it's like, yeah, flipping itself inside out, and now it's back to normal. So there's a weird edge case that's happening that we want to figure out why that's happening. It's kind of interesting. I wonder why it takes so long. I think I know what's happening. I think I know what's happening. I think it's the difference between the boundaries of the fill volume and the flood volume. Looks nice, thanks. How are you? How's it going? Yeah, we're basically working on editor tools right now, more so than we are working on the game itself. But we're having a really nice, quiet Wednesday here. Okay. So here's my suspicion. We have a different function for the exterior flood fill, which is the initial flood fill from the outside in. And then we have additional interior flood fills, which are meant to handle the remaining compartments. So we basically go from the outside in. And my suspicion is that we are doing a couple of things, one of which is probably not correctly rewriting the compartments around the edge of the volume that we're filling. So we've got the fill volume, which we pass in, which is at the moment, we changed this yesterday to be the bounds of the area that's actually being used by the constructor rather than just the max volume. And that's sped up the function significantly. So we set this bound. Our list of unvisited tiles is this boundary to list. Okay. I want to see how this was set up before. I'm going to open GitHub real quick. I just want to look at this file before we changed it, how it used to work. So unvisited used to just be the buffers AAB. Okay, so we didn't expand it. Okay, that's good. That helps. So I think the problem then is probably down here in the exterior flood fill. So what we do is we pass in what I call the fill volume. This is the actual used volume, and this is what we need to fill. But that's actually not accurate. We have this flood volume. I think the problem is we're not actually resetting the exterior. Like, we're not resetting the partitions or compartments of the blocks around the build area. We're using it to search from, but we're not actually setting those. We're not actually setting those. We're taking a shortcut here where we're making a stack of all of the vectors that we're searching from, which is like all the stuff around the outside. We're using those as the search points, and we're searching in from those. But I think we still need to. Okay, so I'm going to rename fill volume bounds. These are the bounds that we're going to pass in. The flood volume is going to be bigger than the bounds. I'm just going to call this expanded. Is going to be... I'm going to call this expanded bounds. It's going to be... Actually, I don't even think I need to declare a variable for this. We're just going to say list vector3i visited equals bounds.enlarge vector3i.1. This is going to slow the system down slightly, but it should be fine. So we're going to make this, and we're going to cast it to a list. This is kind of inefficient, but it should work. And then so here, when we're going through, if fill volume contains... Oh, no, I did this slightly wrong. So we'll pass in the bounds. The fill volume, ABB fill volume, is going to be bounds.enlarge vector 3i dot 1. And then the flood volume is going to be that same, is going to be fill volume and large vector 3i dot 1. So we're just expanding this volume that we're searching just so that we can get around all the little edges, but we need to make sure that we're actually setting the compartments of some of those edges, or we're gonna not, it's not gonna display correctly the way the auto tiler works. And I think that is the source of the problem. So this visited is going to be flood volume dot get non-overlapping fill volume. That's what it was before. I'm gonna make sure that's the case. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? Okay, yeah, that's not changed, so that's still considered what it was. Flood volume dot get non-overlapping fill volume. Yeah, okay. So we want to start by visiting the difference between what we're filling and what we're flooding. I know this is like the stupidest way to describe this, but don't worry about it. It makes sense to me. All right. So let's see if expanding this, not bad. You're having a bit of a late lunch. Been a busy day. Nice. Yeah, I just had lunch. Rather than subject people to watching me eat like I did yesterday, I just started the stream late and I had lunch first, and it was nice. I had another like peasant lunch of like bread, cheese, and apple. It was good though. Let's test this. I'm hoping that this will at least correct some of the weird, erroneous behavior. I don't totally understand when the whole thing inverts itself. I don't totally understand what's happening there. But I think this should at least solve some of the graphical issues we're noticing. I could probably disable the debug, but whatever. Crash. Where are we crashing? Buffer read write, get index, exterior flood fill, compartmentalize. Buffer span, get index. Ah. That actually shouldn't be a problem. 30, 35, 31, 36. Oh, it's trying to go above. Right. Continue work on the flood fill. Yeah. We're trying to fix a bug. And you're still here. You're just playing something and using this as background noise. No, that's great. This is supposed to be like a chill co-working space. That's exactly what it's for. Feel free to lurk. And Diginanigans, you say you think a lot of people that watch this stream tend to just leave it on in the background as a co-working. That's what we want. That's exactly what we want. I'm trying to do better about making sure sonically it's like good for that. All right, so the problem is when we do a containment check on the fill volume, that doesn't actually match the bounds. So we need to do a buffer bounds check. How am I going to do this? We have to do a check. We have to check. We have to make sure we're not accidentally writing outside of the usable area. You know, let's ignore that for now. I think it's still going to crash, but let me see if I can test this without resolving that issue and see if we at least resolved the bug I was trying to fix. I would biggerize the screen right now, but I'm genuinely afraid that I'll crash the program if I try to do that. Well, that answers the question. Why does it take so long for it to return to like a normal state? That's such a strange thing that's happening here. I don't know what's causing that. All right. So I don't think my solution with changing the fill volume did anything. So we're going to remove that because that was causing out of bounds accesses. So I do this. Well, what if instead of doing it on this level, I do it one level down? We still see that issue. There could be an issue where where it truly is, we're operating at the edge. Okay, so as long as there's a compartment registered, this debug number is going up. I know it's not going up, but like the number of debug log entries are going up, and as soon as I punch a hole, it goes away. So I'm just gonna keep going back and forth until we cause this graphical issue. Oh. If we can't cause this graphical issue, it does have to do with operating at the edge of the system. To at least trigger, that might at least be the trigger. We're like operating right at the, oh, nope, here it is. Okay, so it's freaking out, but it doesn't, so now it no longer considers there to be a compartment here, which is interesting because there definitely is. It's running this huge check. Okay. Okay. And now this graphical issue around the edges does have to do with the problem I was trying to address. Okay. So it freaks out for a quick second. It ends up spending all this time searching this enormous area. It weirds out like that and then it corrects itself. That is so strange. Okay. I think I know what's happening. I think we're running into our first like unsafe like read-write access issue because of how we're naively doing this. think it's because of how naively we're managing the tasks. All right, so the easiest way to check this would be to let's change the way we're doing this for a second here. We're going to try to run these sequentially and see if this really is a desync between them. This process is fast enough now that it doesn't need to be. So now if I start just punching holes in this, I shouldn't be able to cause this issue. Yeah, this issue should not happen now. What if I do something super weird, though? What if I do this? I'm going to try to make a compartment and then delete it and see how the system reacts to that. Oh, it fixed it, like, immediately. That's good. Okay, well, problem solved for now, which is to not let the fill task run in parallel. Because I think what was happening is we were editing the data that the fill task was using while it was using it, which is obviously no good. There's a number of ways that we could resolve that. Hey, Ryson. How's it going? I wonder at what point performance becomes a problem when doing it this way. Nope. The answer is now. The answer is almost immediately. But I don't actually think that the problem is in the flood fill system. I bet the problem right now, the slowdown, is in the tile system. It's definitely laggy now. It's noticeably laggy. But well, I actually guess I have no idea where the slowdown is. The tiles are pretty responsive when I punch a hole in. Let's see. What do we want to do about that? We need a more sophisticated task scheduler is essentially what we need to resolve that problem. But let's table that for now, I think. Have I ever played first-person shooters? Yes. You've been playing Splitgate? I don't think I know about Splitgate. Splitgate. Free to play, fast-paced, player-controlled portals. Oh, cool. Now you're thinking with portals. Shenanigans. You just need to keep track of currently running tasks and then bail out of the existing update if you need to start if you start a new one. Maybe that's an option. What I was doing was I was only starting a new task when the old task was finished. But I think here's the I think I was running into a problem because I was doing that. One task was just running in the background and another task was running much faster than it and changing the very data that the other task was operating on. So we could fix that some ways. Canceling the task seems like an option. I'd be worried about leaving everything in a bad state. But maybe we don't. Here, let me try something. Let me try this. Let's see if running these systems alternatively works. Let's see if this works. Just to figure out where the slowdown is. It's very likely it's in the blood fill, but it could also be in when we're trying to unload the tile maps. I have very purposely avoided doing complex task scheduling because I only want to deal with it when it actually becomes a problem. Okay, so this is a little slow, but that's because we're not allowing the tile system to update when the tool system updates. So if we enter a ton of tool system commands in a row, it bounces around for a while. Which I actually don't... I mean, it looks terrible, but at the moment I don't hate that. It basically waits for a lull. We could handle this with like a double buffer if we double buffered the data. And if it only affects this sort of thing, that's actually quite usable, quite manageable. Because this is just a problem we're running into during edit time. This is not like a general problem. There's definitely expressions of this fundamental issue that could be a general problem. But for now, I actually don't think I totally care. It looks laggy, which is not a great look. But what I actually wanted to do today was work on the cutaway system, so I don't know if I totally care a lot at the moment. This is definitely worse than what I had before, though. What I actually want to work on is a new version of the cutaway system. I know I just said that, but that's really what I want to try. So this is largely a distraction from that. But it is something that we'll need to address. This is better, at least. This is still laggy beyond a certain scale, but for testing purposes, we're like not reaching that scale very often. So this is better. If I start doing stuff like this, yeah, now you see the slowdown. Oh, but once I get back into like a normal, once I get back to around here, it's like harder to notice. But yeah, we need a more permanent solution for sure. It's definitely the flood fill that's the source of the problem, because if I start to go out here, you see the slowdown really badly. And it's because the flood fill is based on like the maximum used bounds. Maybe we need to get back to the thing we were doing where we were separating out the preview blocks from the settled blocks. If we only flood fill based on the settled blocks, that's a lot better. That would be a lot more manageable. But I don't know. I kind of want to flood fill based on both merged together so that we get the best view, so that we get the best representation in the auto tiling system. All right, so what we're going to try to do is we're going to try a cutaway system that works per compartment. So if we detect that we're in this compartment, we're going to cut away everything above this compartment. So theoretically, this whole room would just disappear. And all of the ceiling above this, as long as our mouse was in here. And then if we were in here, I'd say the walls in front and the ceiling above would all get cut away. I want to try that. I want to try a room-based cutaway system. I think that'll just be way better in every way. I really want to try it. The only question is we need to know... I think we need to know where the compartments start and stop. I think we need to know the maximum coordinate of the compartment and the minimum, so that we can define where the cutaway is occurring. And I don't know where that should happen. It should probably happen in the fill system. The fill system should probably write something back to like a more global variable that tells us where those compartments are. It could even just write back the bounds of those compartments. That would actually probably be the thing we'd want to do. So what I'm describing is if... So we'd say world. We're going to say... We've got used bounds. I'm going to just write another one of these. Another public AABB called compartments. Oh, no, it needs to be a list. List AABB compartments. And so what the fill system will do, when it compartmentalizes things, it will say world dot, we'll say game dot world dot compartments dot clear Mux accuses me of being a nerd. I am guilty as charged. How are you doing? The song is wild. I think I want something a little more chill. Oh, it's over. So we clear the list of compartments. This is not, it's gonna need to, this is actually probably gonna be something we're gonna need to attach to an entity. Right now we're only worried about one set of blocks. But I think eventually this is gonna need to be associated with an entity. And an entity will just have a list of compartments, potentially. Actually, I guess it could be... I guess it'll be a buffer is what it's going to be. It's going to be a buffer of compartments. That's fine. We can include information about the compartments in there. It doesn't have to just be the bounding box. We could have information in, like, the oxygen level of the compartment. That would be interesting instead of necessarily doing it per block.
Maximum warp.
Hey, no, Joel, how's it going? How are you doing? All right, forget about the partition count. I don't know why I'm still debugging that. So what we want to do, compartments. I guess what we do, so visited is a read-only span of vector 3 eyes. We say for each coordinate in that. So we iterate through all the coords when we get it back. So maybe that's the time to do it, or we could do it while we're filling. I don't think I want to do it during the flood fill. And in fact, for this initial one, we could actually just say, we can actually just say game.world.add bounds. And then if we get into here, if we get into this, I wonder if I want a function on the AABB where you can build an AABB out from a span of vectors. That'd be kind of neat, huh? But if we're going to be iterating through them all in here, we might as well do this anyway. So index equals unvisited.index of index. So what we want to do here is we want to say, we want to make a new AABB. So we want to say AABB, we want to say compartment equals new AABB initial. So we make a new AABB with the initial vector. And then here, be nice, Ryson. He's not wrong. This is a max chill kind of channel. I'm trying to enforce that because I realize the recordings of my voice when I get really amped up and I raise my voice a lot, they sound really bad. So we're going to do our best to just be like Bob Ross to like the max chill. Because the audio is just much better when I'm just chilling. I know I get kind of worked up sometimes to defend my poor decisions. I'm going to try to do better about that. I'm going to try to do better about just accepting graciously whatever criticism comes my way live on stream. I think that's the only way. All right, so what we're going to do, can we just say, oh, well, I should spell compartment right. So can we just say compartment dot enlarge? No, that's by size. So what I want to do is say compartment dot resize. So if I say resize and I pass in a coordinate, what does it do? Do I need to pass in? So if I pass in one set of coordinates, what does it do? So it tries to pull out a new min and max. Yeah, this is what we want. We want this resize. Resize, resize is not the correct word for what we're about to do, but it will work. So we resize the compartment for every coordinate that gets passed through. And then when we're done, we say game.world.compartments.add compartment. That's how it's done. And that should help us build a compartments thing. Rexon got scolded by HR. Look, you got to listen for understanding. No, you're cool, Ryson. I know it's really hard to like. I know when people come in to the internet, to any forum or any place on the internet, and they bring a certain energy, it's really hard not to just reflect that energy back. But that's not what we're gonna do. We're gonna just absorb energy. We're gonna use it to build our spirit bomb, our game dev spirit bomb here. And in 5 to 6 years, we're gonna drop our game dev spirit bomb. All right, I think this works. I'm gonna run it, and it's gonna crash immediately. Frieza won't stand a chance. I know. Frieza being Steam. All right. Well, this is working. I kind of want to see what kind of values we're getting. I kind of want to just debug.writeLine game.world.compartments. All right, so as soon as we start... So wait, actually, why isn't this happening? Here we go. Oh, it's just telling me a generic list. Cool. So what are we gonna actually say? I literally can't spell compartment. I just keep writing compartment. We're going to say compartment. We're going to say debug. Debug.writeLine. It'll automatic. If I have a toString function, it'll automatically call that toString function, right? I think our AAB function has a we have a toString function over. Is it an override or is it just a function? It's an override. Yeah, okay. And it will print the minimum and the maximum. Okie doke. That should work. So we're gonna do this. (45, 45, 1, 45, 45, 1 is not correct. So what are we doing? What's going on here? So we've got 32, 38 by 46 to 46. This is probably the exterior. That seems reasonable. Then our interior is just 45, 45, 1. 45, 45, 1. Oh, wait. We go from 32, 38, 0 to 46, 46, 1. Okay. And then our interior is just being measured as 45.45.1 to 45.45.1. That is incorrect. Our resize function is maybe not doing what I think it does. So, no, if I add a coordinate, it should create a new... It tries to expand the AABB based on the coordinates passed in. It basically includes... I should probably call this include instead of resize. Or like expand to include. That would be the most verbose way of describing this. So include would probably be the most clear. We're not going to worry about that right now, though. All right. So what I should do is instead of for each, what we should do is we should say for. I want to be able to print the index out as well. For integer I equals 0, I is less than game.world.compartments.count I++, debug.write line. We want to write here we go. How's everyone doing today? It's Wednesday. We're halfway through the week. I would like the week to be over now, especially because the upcoming weekend is a long holiday weekend. It's Memorial Day in the United States here. And that'll be nice. That'll be nice for me. All right, so we're going to do this. We should already be getting things spit out here. It's kind of weird that there's nothing in the debugger yet. Until I, like, do this. $34.38.0. Yeah. 46.47.1. Okay. And then the interior compartment is just being read as 45.46.1 to 45.46.1. That shouldn't be happening. Like, the minimum and the maximum should not be the same number. Rhiannon Journey, you should see if you get that off. You always forget holidays. You're doing pretty good. You're looking forward to the weekend. You picked up Schedule 1 on Steam. You're looking forward to playing. Oh, nice, nice. Schedule 1 looks fun. I have some like RPGs and stuff installed that I want to spend more time on. Like I was playing the Obsidian one. What's it called? Avowed. That was fun. And then Elder Scrolls Oblivion came out and I was playing that. Also fun. Basically Game Pass is like adding too many games. Game Pass is going off right now. I think they just added Doom the Dark Ages. I don't think I will play that. Because the thing I actually like the least of all of Doom 2016 were like all the quick time events of like the, I don't know what they call them, but they're basically like little mini like animated like kills. They're like special like melee kills that give you like resources. and they're tied to these like long animations. Space Marine 2 had them everywhere, and I did not like that. I mean, don't get me wrong, I loved like killing things with like chain swords and stuff, but I do not like melee quick time events in my shooters. I do not. Call me a traditionalist. What I need to do is I need to play some Helldivers 2 this weekend, because apparently things are going crazy right now in Helldivers 2, and I haven't played for a minute. So the resize function is making a new... It's getting a vector 3 min of the coords, the minimum. It's making a minimum out of the coordinates, the minimum, and it's making a maximum out of the coordinates and the maximum. So the fact that we keep getting back, it's very strange. Let me look at how I structured this in the fill system. A little weird how this is working. So where am I doing this part? Oh yeah, I'm doing it out here in the compartmentalize. So we're visited equals interior flood fill, initial partition count buffer. So we get back. So we basically get back a span. I create an AABB that consists of just this initial vector. And for each coordinate set in visited, I resize it. Oh, I'm an idiot. Compartment equals compartment.resize. Oopsies. Oopsies. I forgot the assignment. So I was resizing the compartment, but I wasn't assigning it back. My bad. Diginatians, you played Avowed for a few hours, didn't really hold your interest. Worth sticking it out for. It's really pretty, right? Like, it's a gorgeous game, but I feel like you can get that in the first few hours. That comes across. The combat is just better than like other, I call them like LARPing RPGs, like RPGs where you're really just, it feels like you're LARPing, like you're running around and swinging the sword and stuff, and it's like kind of janky. Elder Scrolls is the ultimate example of that. The combat's at least better than Elder Scrolls, right? Like, but I also don't like I don't want to say party-based RPGs. I don't like action RPGs where you have companions. I really don't like that. I don't like that Avowed is basically like Mass Effect with swords. Like, that's not my favorite, but it was compelling. I found it compelling and beautiful. So I don't know. I don't know if it would be worth sticking out. Like, I don't know what you'll get that you didn't see in the first few hours. Except just more content. There are so many games that I will try because they're on Game Pass now that I would not normally be playing. The only game I bought recently that I played a lot of was Crashlands 2, because that came out, and I really love the Butterscotch Shenanigans studio. I listen to their podcast every week. It's like the only podcast I listen to, so I wanted to support them and play their game. I've been playing that on Steam Deck. It's pretty good. Crashlands 2. It's pretty good on Steam Deck. It's like the right scope, and the right size and scale, too, for that game. All right, so our resizing should be happening correctly now. Let's double check that that's the case. All right. So the exterior is 32 by 38. Oh, hold on. 32, 38, 0, 48, 49, 1. That's not exactly correct, is it? It should actually be bigger than that, huh? And then the interior is 3238.1 to 4849.1. That also seems wrong. Oh, because this is including all of the places. Oh, it's because I'm including the visited, not the filled. Oh, I can't actually do that here. I see. I'm recording the wrong thing. You're heading out for a bit. You'll be back in a bit. No worries. You might come back and check it out after you're done with Expedition 33. I showed Expedition 33 to my partner, the Claire Obscura game. I showed that to her because she played Sea of Stars and she liked Sea of Stars. And I hear mechanically it's pretty similar to Sea of Stars, as far as being like a turn-based RPG with some real-time elements. And she looked at that, and this is a person who like watches anime, and she looked at that and she was like, wow, this is a lot. And that tickled me. But I appreciate that it's a lot. All right, so here's what we need to do. So I still don't really want this to be part of the interior flood fill, because I feel like at a certain point I want to break off the interior flood fill into like its own. I want to give these like their own threads or something like that. I need to speed this part up eventually, because this is definitely where a lot of our slowdown is happening. So I don't really want to do this. I don't really want to build the AABB. But I need to figure out this partition thing. Actually, maybe it's okay. Maybe it's okay that it's set up like this. Yeah, it's actually for now totally okay that this is what we're getting back. I'm going to live with this. So what we're going to do now that we have this information, we are going to go into the tile system. And we are going to rework the cutaway function. We're going to make a new version of the cutaway function, because right now, the cutaway system works purely on the mouse cursor. So if I just start throwing this stuff in here, so I make a room here, you'll notice that we cut away the ceiling more aggressively than the walls, but it's all based on where the cursor is. And if I go down, that continues. So I don't want it to work this way. I want it to work compartment-wise. So like if my mouse cursor is in this compartment, actually it could even be like touching the wall at the edge or something. If it's anywhere near this compartment, I want to clear away all of the ceilings above and the walls in front. I just want to clear away like this and this. I'm gonna actually erase this to show what I want. So I want it to look like this. This is what I want to see, right? Now there might be some complications where we like don't just erase it away indefinitely forward, but this is what I want to start with. This is what I would like to see. Now, how does this work for like a more complex? For a more complex room? I don't know. But I want to start with this. I'll probably turn this debugger off, huh? Where even is this debugger? Right here. Oh man, the script path is hard-coded in here? That's cool. Is that new? Whatever. I feel like that's not written in here. It must be getting added. Huh, that's cool. All right, so we go to the tile system. Is this too sleepy? Is this music too sleepy time? Oh, it's about to switch. All right. Sorry, I got distracted by an email. All right, so what we're gonna do? This is our cutaway. So this is our cutaway tile sol data. We're gonna write an alternative version of this function. So we're gonna rename this cutaway tiles. We're gonna call this cutaway tiles by cursor. Coords. And this one is going to be called cutaway tiles by compartment. We'll fix the issue up here. We still need to go back and like separate the, or not separate. We need to actually separate the settle blocks from the preview blocks and then have a mechanism for merging them together on each system that needs that to happen. That needs to occur. All right. So what we have here is an incredibly arcane set of coordinates, or an arcane set of conditions that are coordinate based. What we actually want to do instead, so we can still pull the coordinates, but then what we need to do is we need to say, so if block buffer doesn't contain the coordinates, we return. Otherwise, what we're going to say is we're going to say int compartment equals game.world.compartments. We're going to say, so we're going to pick the compartment and we're going to say block buffer dot span block buffer dot get index. You know what? We have these stupid nested things where I call the span and I pass in this other thing. We could add some more helper functions to this because now the span is a property. It used to be the span was not a property of the buffer. It was something you had to go get separately. And then you would see this structure. I use this everywhere where you have like, let me find a good example. Yeah, we have something like this, like blockbuffer.getterDefault, blockbuffer.aabb. Well, this is fine. This is actually a fine one because we're actually manipulating the rotate. Oh, here's a good example. Blockbuffer.span, blockbuffer.getIndex, and then we're doing this. This part would still need to here, but we could just say like blockbuffer.get, and we could just pass in this index instead of actually referencing the span directly. Like, that's a new way we can write this now that the span is a property and not this thing we have to go get and pass around. Oh well, let's save that for our our next refactor week, huh? Which I enjoyed. I enjoyed our refactor week. It was nice to like take the pressure off of like advancing the game and like going back and like making our shit more maintainable. That was nice. All right, so we're going to do this, and we're going to say part. Part is a number, right? Cannot convert source type di.aabb to target type int. Oh. Int compartment. Oh, no, we don't want to do this. We could say int. We could say part index. I don't know. I actually don't know if I want to store this as a separate thing. So we can do this. And then do we need to store the compartment separately? Compartment equals game.world.compartments part index. Do I need to do that? No, I don't need to store the part index, do I? Just have this in here. There we go. Okay, so we've got our compartment. So compartment, game.world.compartments, blah, 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 blah. If, oh, I do kind of want to store the part index, actually. Integer. We can just say index. No, we should say part. I do want to store this because if this is 0... If this is 0, if part index, no, not -1, but if it equals 0, we return. Oh, Rhiannon Journey. You redeemed Pick the Radio Station. What radio station would you like? Here's a list of stations. I'm sorry I didn't notice that. This list might not be totally up to date, but whatever you want. We got about another hour of the stream. Not every radio station has an hour's worth of music. I will tell you that right now, though. Chill bass. All right, chill bass it is. I hope that one still exists. There it is. Its icon is a fish. Oh, that makes sense. That's a funny joke. I get it. Oh, this is a good choice. This station has like 5 hours of music on it. Some of them literally have like punk music of all things has 38 minutes on it. Probably because I'm insisting on instrumental music. It's probably limiting some of these stations quite a bit. Anyway, I'll shut up now so you can listen to the station you picked. All right, so we don't need any of this other logic. Like, we're not going to be using this offset for anything. What we're going to do is we're going to basically say, so for each key in hull.keys, let's just forget all of this. So what we're going to do is we're going to say, well, let's say if key dot z is greater than, we want to keep this one. So we're going to, if key dot z is greater than chords dot z, Oh no, not chords.z. We want to say compartment.maximum.z. So if a tile is below a compartment, we're not even going to worry about it. That's not up for a cut. Otherwise, so if we're on the exact same chords, will this behave differently if we're the same or above? I think it'll behave the same. So we can get rid of these two. Back for now. Welcome back to Shenanigans. I'm in this like vicious cycle where I'm not standing up during the stream because my back hurts, but sitting all day is making my back hurt more. It's a conundrum. All right, so what we're going to do now, we're going to ask if key.xy, we want to see if key.x is greater than So I thought about this earlier. No Jewel, third option, lie down on stream. That'd be pretty funny. That'd be pretty funny. How are you doing, No Joel? So we want if key.x is greater than compartment dot minimum dot x and key dot y is greater than no it's or key dot y greater than compartment dot minimum. Oh, this is a condition in which I would want to cut away. I'm trying to define conditions where I would not want to cut away. So we'll say if it's less than or equal to. Oh, dang it. Well, hold on. Let me define the cases when we should cut away. I'm going to have an easier time thinking about this. Oh, no. Okay. I understand what it should be. It should be key.x is greater than compartment minimum.x and key.x is greater than compartment dot maximum dot y, right? That's when we should, that's a reason we should cut away, right? No, Joel, you're okay-ish. Just personal things weighing you down a bit. I'm sorry. I feel that. Hey, Skywalk. You were just thinking about me? A bug that's been haunting you for months. Internal block face culling. You just figured it out. Noise. Noise. Diginanigans, you've got the same back issues. You used to go out for a long walk during your lunch hour when you used to work in an office all day. You don't get away from your desk enough during the day now. Yeah. You make a better conscious effort for that. I feel you. I'm trying to like do a bunch of spring cleaning. I know it's a little late, but I'm still trying to do it. Because I need to clear a path to my bicycle, man. I used to bike to work every day as part of my commute. But now that I work from home, I don't do that anymore. And I otherwise don't really have time to bike. It's kind of a shame. Well, welcome in, Skywalk. It's good to see you. All right, so we do want to cut away if the key.x is greater than the compartment's minimum x. Hold on. I need to grid this in my mind. I'm just gonna play it. So here we go. So here we're gonna pretend that this is a compartment. So right now, this whole area would be considered part of the compartment, the way we're recording this. So we would say, so here's the minimum XY, and here's the maximum XY. So if we want to carve out these walls, we would say, so if it's a wall, we want to cut away so I guess we do want to distinguish between Z that's less than our current Z and an equal Z, because if the Z is above, if we're talking about like a higher up, which I can't do because I drew this too high. Luckily we can fix this because we have copy paste. Look at that. Oh, I broke it. Where did that break? Fill system, exterior flood. Okay. The flood fill doesn't work if we're operating at the edge. All right. So that issue exists. We should fix that. We're not going to fix it right now. Why are we still debugging this? Where are we printing the list? Oh, maybe we aren't anymore, and I just forgot to clear it. All right, so let's ignore that for now. Let's run this again. Let's ignore the game-ending bug. So here we go. So this is going to be our compartment. And we're just manually working out the cutaway. So if we're up here, then what we're going to do is we're going to say, if your coordinate is greater than, if you're greater than both the minimum X and the minimum Y, then you cut away. That way we just cut away this whole floor. So that's easy. We can write that logic up. Made you chuckle oh, we can fix that. We have copy paste. Oh, I broke it. I know. I noticed this earlier. We changed the way the flood fill works, and I need to add a bounds check, and I was like, let's not worry about that right now. But the lack of the bounds check is a problem. All right, so that's easy. So that's the less than. And then if we're down here and we're trying to do the cutaway, what it is it would be, so this is the x axis, this is the y axis. So you would say, is my x axis greater than the minimum x, and is my y axis greater than the maximum y? So that way it's like, here's our maximum y, here's our minimum x. We want everything in front of, this minimum x that's also in front of this maximum y. Okay, do we have that? Somebody write that down. By somebody, I mean me. This is a good radio choice. I'm enjoying this. All right, so when we should cut away. So we said key.x is greater than compartment.minimum x, and key.y is greater than compartment.maximum y, and we want the vice versa of that as well. Key.y is greater than compartment.minimum y, and key.x is greater than compartment.maximum x. So these are the if key.z is less than compartment.minimum.z. There might be some additional cutting away that we might need to do for compartments that are multiple z levels tall. I don't want to think about that right now, so we're not going to. And so if key.z is the same as the compartment dot maximum dot z, actually, it might be maximum z in either case here. This also doesn't account for camera movement. We'll have to change the way this works for camera rotation, maybe. But that's just converting it correctly from I call it relative versus absolute, but I should just call it local or global. I feel like that would be more clear what I'm talking about. All right, so I'm going to write these out, and then I'm going to let Writer replace them for me. All right, so I have these conditionals. Will you invert this for me? Thank you. Occasionally, for some reason, inverting conditional statements like this for me sometimes is just like too hard. I'm weak. I do maybe want to change the order of this. I know I could do this in a different order and it would be a little more efficient, but logically, I understand this better. I'm going to leave my code comments here for a minute until we verify that this is correct. I'll move them up here. All right. Okay, I disagree that this is instrumental. They're really pushing the limit of what can be considered vocals. All right, so if it's equals, then this is the logic I want. They are, yeah. It's cool. Like that's not the issue. All right, so these are the times we don't cut away, and I achieved that by inverting this. All right, moment of truth here. All right, moment of truth. We're gonna run this here. All right, I actually like that track, but I'm disliking it because I'm a contrarian, I guess. That's what I am. All right. So let us see how we're doing here. All right. Okay. So things are not going well. I probably flipped something. We probably need multiple kinds of cutaways. Because this alone is not sufficient. All right, so what's happening here? It's cutting the floors away. It should be doing the walls. It's not cutting the ceiling away, which is interesting. Did I flip something? I have to remember that the top floor is 0, and after that we just go down, right? And by down, we count up. We count up as we go down. Down is the new up. All right, so one problem that I definitely see is that we don't have a carve out for floors. So I want this floor carve out. So if key.z is equal to, then I want this. So if key.w, so we're talking about a floor, we don't want to cut away a floor from that level, but from the level above. So if key.z is greater than compartment.maximum_z, continue. Maximum z. Maximum z is the bottommost. Hey, Stubenhocker, how's it going? How are you doing today? It's been a minute. Diginanigans, is the z-axis off by 1? It's possible. It might need to read less than or equals rather than less than. That's always a possibility. No, it shouldn't. It's not the less than or equals, because equals is a unique case. So if key.z is less than this compartment, then this is what should hold. It should be this. If key.x is less than or equal to compartment.minimum.x, or key.y is less than compartment.minimum.x. Oh wait, this logic is wrong. Did I assign these to the wrong? I think I flipped this. I think the equals logic. If key.z equals yeah, I flipped this. This is the less than, and this is the equals. So we need to swap these around. Ship it, Rihanna Journey. All right, the whole, like, when I go down to the next level thing that we're seeing here is a bit of a problem. But that's fine. We might need to add multiple rules. There might just need to be branching paths of, or like a backup. Okay, here we go. Something is happening. Okay, so we crashed. A, B compartment, game no blah 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 blah. Blah 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 blah. 0 0 0 0 0 0. Argument out of range. Index was out of range between non-negative and less than the size of the collection. You know what compartments? Block buffer dot span. Where was the failure though? Generic list.get item. Okay, so it was the compartments, which has a count of 1. So we tried to get... What compartment did we get out of here? Part index, block buffer.span. Part index is 1. Okay, so we pulled a part index of 1 out of a block, even though the compartments listing is 1. That's possibly a kind of race condition. Doesn't totally make sense because these are supposed to be executed sequentially. Oh, I'm running them as tasks, huh? Maybe we're not waiting on them. I might actually need to set the tile system task to be dependent on the fill system task. Or we might run into problems like that. I don't really want to think about task scheduling today, so I would rather ignore that for now, if I can. All right, so the ceiling, the compartment cutaway for the ceiling works. The walls are not working, though. And why is this happening? Zero 34 36 0 46 45 1. Very, very strange here. So occasionally the game world compartment list is losing track of the interior blocks. It's kind of incredible. Oh, yeah, these are running in parallel. That's the problem. The functions are running in parallel. So the tile system is getting to its part while the fill system is still doing its thing. So that doesn't actually make a ton of sense. No, these are sequential functions. How is this, how am I running into this problem? Yeah, the run function is not a task. There's nothing async about any of this. Super weird. Super weird. Maybe... I don't understand, but that's fine. I want to figure out this other thing, which is why the walls aren't being cut away. Man, we're getting that drum and bass. Boom, boom, chop, 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 chop. Yeah, so instead of just returning when the part index is 0, what we should do is we should say if part index is equal to compartment, no, is equal to game.world.compartments.count. Also return. That's how we're going to prevent that error. Hack. Part index. Return. The part index. No block should have a part index that is equal to the count of the game.world.compartments. But they currently do. All right, so why aren't the walls being cut away? So if key.z is equal to compartment.maximum.z. Oh, if tile.layers key.w is... No, that wouldn't trigger. That wouldn't trigger. So instead it's saying if key.x Oh, if literally any of these circumstances. All right. The inversion of this was not done correctly. So we need to say so if your key.x was less than, oh, maybe it's the equals. Yeah, I think this should be less than, not less than or equals. I'm gonna try that. Hey, Anonymo. How's it going? Oh, thank you for the bit. Appreciate that. Cheer. Cheer. I'm good. We're hunting down some. We're trying some new cutaway. Our new cutaway system that's a compartment based. It's definitely weird. We're lining up the rules. Oh, yeah. We need. If there are no compartments, we need like an alternative cutaway system. Maybe we say something like this. Maybe we say if part index is equal to 0, maybe we just call the other cutaway function for now. This one we can return for. You think you're gonna head out? Good luck with the cutaway quirks. Thanks. Thanks to Shenanigans. Have a great rest of your day. Oh. Oh yeah, this should. Yeah, so the other cutaway system is gonna engage. For now. Okay, what happened to the instrumental music only? Pretzel. All right, so okay, here's one problem I see. We need the cutaway system to ignore preview blocks. It needs to only work on settled blocks because I can't see the block I'm trying to place down now. What? Oh, dang. Okay, yeah, we really need to split the settled blocks from the preview blocks. There's like no more time. It's interfering with this system pretty badly. So the wall still isn't behaving correctly. It should be only blocks that are greater than or equal to. Yeah, I don't understand. We had the system, we defined this is when we should cut away. But for simplicity's sake, what we're defining here is when we shouldn't. But this is the criteria for when we should cut away. Let me double check that this is correct. So we should cut away if if the tile's Z coordinate is less than the maximum Z coordinate of the compartment. That means the lowest level. So if we are above the lowest Z level, then we use a certain logic. And that one seems to be working. The if key.x is greater than compartment.minimum.x and key.y is greater than compartment.minimum.y. That one seems to be working. One that doesn't seem to be working is the equals case. So we want to cut away when the key.x is greater than the compartment's minimum.x and the key.y is greater than the compartment's maximum.y, or when the key.y is greater than the compartment.minimum.y and the key.x is greater than the compartment.minimum.x. So I need to reverse that. I think the problem is the ors. I think I need some ands. Obviously, this isn't... I don't think I can just swap out the ors for the ands and have it work, but I think I do need to pair the conditions together. Otherwise, it's just like a free-for-all here. Because one of these 4 conditionals is generally going to be true. So I need to split them up into pairs at least. So if key.y.compart... If your key.y... Okay, if your key.y... I know what the key.y is. So if your key.y... is less than your compartment.maximum.y. Sure. Yeah. And your key key.x is less than your compartment.minimum.x. No. That's wrong. Should be this. So that's one thing, is that if your keys are less than the maximum, we don't want to cut away. Or if your key.x is less than less than the minimum.x. All right, I'm figuring it out. I don't love that the auto tiler, like this kind of a system, really is just a bunch of defined cases. But that's kind of just how it is. So this, I think I'm going to flip these because this one seems to be the more common. I'll have that run first. All right, let's see. I've done something. Have low expectations of your output. You're like, I've caused a change. What? I do not know. What change? We will never quite understand. Okay, I feel like we're almost there. All right, we're almost there. This is like almost correct. What's happening at the edge here is a little weird. We're very close. There's a problem here. Don't worry about the fact where the cursor is. That's something we're gonna fix by actually separating these layers out. I understand why that's happening. So the corner piece is being cut away when it shouldn't. Oh, that should be a greater than or equal, not a greater than. Or less than or equal. Let's get them ligatures. Oh, that's the wrong place to put the ligatures. Ligatures here. Oh Lord, what did I do? Don't search. Nope, I think a machine worker is. Yep. Cool. A locksmith is about to start working on my gate downstairs. That's gonna be loud. But as I learned last time, apparently the microphone's noise canceling is like really good. To the point where I can barely hear myself talk and you're all like, I don't hear any background noise, which is pretty cool. Pretty cool how that works. All right, this should work now. This should famously work. Hey, full box. I'm pretty cool. I don't believe you, but I appreciate it. Okay. This is a room-based cutaway system. And we're not hiding the blocks inside. This is pretty cool. Oh man, it works on the whoa. I was not anticipating it to work per wall. Wait, what? What? It is misbehaving a little bit, though. Because if this is the only compartment, it's not going to work correctly. So let's try to make a second compartment. And then we'll probably see better behavior if we have, like, 2 or 3 compartments. It's going to start to lag. Don't worry about it. Fullbox on YouTube side. Fullbox is right there, no Jewel. All right, the lag is not good. The lag is something we need to address. I could probably just have made a smaller test area and accomplished the same thing, but it's too late now. Okay, that's not good. What's happening there? Yeah, so there's some issues with the partitioning that we need to figure out. But we're getting closer to what I want. All right, so once we've got all these different rooms set up, let's see how this works. All right, we need something. Okay, here we go. So how's this work now? Okay, it's taking forever. It's probably going to crash. I mean, this is kind of what I want it to do. Kind of. Not really. Why are these considered the same? You know what? I bet the fill system is still running. All right, we're gonna do a smaller test. Because I think we're running into some performance issues. But how's it going, full box? I saw you working on your new game. Your newer game. Still looking real juicy. All right, so what if I make this like 3 different rooms? Yeah, so check this out. It's kind of working. Look at this. Isn't this cool? This just kind of works. How slick is that? This is our new cutaway model. I think this is like very good. How cool is this? What if watch if I like make this the same room, then it treats it as the same thing. And if I seal it off again, it knows it's a different room. This is pretty cool. I don't know. I'm pretty pleased with this. I'm a little afraid to try it on like different floors, on like multiple floors. Oh, that behaves weirdly. Okay. What if I do it like this? it's not... No, this is actually correct, huh? This is... Well, at least it's what I've told it to do. Okay. There's definitely some problems. Oh, because this floor panel is being... I see some issues. Not too bad. You had a pretty bad headache, but you're feeling better now. For a second, I thought you were talking about the look of my... Oh, that's not good. The look of the compartmentalization. I'm like, oh, it's not... It doesn't look terrible. It's giving me a headache, but... I like this better than the onion skinning thing we were doing, which is not the right word for it, but... Okay, it works better with one floor. The 2-floor thing, I understand what's happening there, why that's not working. I don't want to do anything about it right now, though. Oh, man, we just ran ads, didn't we? Shame. All right, one more test here. Make 4 rooms. Yeah, this is way... Oh. 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 Why does that not work? So we got this one. And this one. But why don't these ones work? That's weird. It's not letting me look into these back 2 rooms. All right, we're gonna keep testing for a minute, but I do have to run. I have to go shortly. But I'm pleased with the direction of this. It obviously needs some more work. So, like, notice that this sort of works. I don't understand. Oh, wait, what? You're not considered part of the room? Defining where the rooms are is definitely a little bit of an issue here. Like the bounding box that we're sending the cutaway system to tell it where the rooms are is a little messed up, and it's causing some weird stuff. Like when I'm here, like when I'm between the rooms. I thought I fixed that. I might need another category. But aside from that, this is working okay. It's better than this incremental one, which we're still using right now as like a backup. Yeah, this is a problem too, though. Okay. Well, I know what we're going to work on tomorrow. We're going to work on some preview block stuff. I got a meeting I got to get ready for. Yeah, this has been fun, though. I appreciate everyone hanging out here today. We got a pretty decent number of people in here now. I'm sorry I started so late. I need to get a lunch. And sorry I'm having to cut out a little early here. Meetings are the worst. Would that I lived a life without meetings. And I could spend all my time talking to you people. You like the room-based cutaway? Me too. I think it has potential. I think it has a much higher potential than the coordinate-based cutaway system. It is definitely more finicky. It needs everything to be just right. Thanks for the hydrate, no Jewel. Sorry I didn't notice it. I'll get a bit of hydration in now. But yeah, I appreciate everyone tuning in today. We'll be back tomorrow. We're gonna work tomorrow. We're gonna work on. I know we say this all the time, but we're gonna be working. We're gonna be finishing the separation of the preview blocks from the settled blocks, from the blocks that are just like bouncing around in preview versus the blocks that have been like placed and are like locked in. We need to fully split that. The trick is once we've fully split it, we need a process for merging them back together in the systems that need them to be merged. So we'll have to do that. We'll have to split them once and then merge them back together like multiple times based on different criteria. If we can do it based on one criteria, then we could potentially have it all happen in one system. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see how we're gonna manage that. But that's gonna be fun. We'll probably be. Hopefully, we can just do that tomorrow. But that might be a multi-day project. But yeah, I'm hopeful. I really want the visuals of working with the blocks and navigating the. Like, I feel like our biggest problem from a game standpoint is understanding where you are in space in the block construction thing. At least during playtime. During edit time, I don't mind because I kind of have an idea of where I am and we can like improve the editing workflow later. But yeah, I think Foolbox will understand. I feel like when you're streaming game development, you have a lot of you feel like this burden where you're like, it needs to look good. Working on the game needs to look good. The game needs to look good while it's being worked on. Like there's a visual element to streaming game development where maybe if I was just doing this by myself, I would accept a lot of jank. I would accept a lot more jank than I do. No Jewel agrees with me. Okay, well, if No Jewel agrees with me, I don't even need Foolbox to agree with me then. It's already set. No Jewel, that's why you're doing pixel art right now? Ah, okay. Yeah. Foolbox, you've had this for marketing on Blue Sky recently? Oh, like that's part of the reason why the game is so juicy, is just so the Blue Sky marketing is like peak. Yeah, okay, cool. That makes a lot of sense. It's important. Yeah, I think it is important. If you're doing any kind of open game development, people are vicious. Like, remember when some of the GTA 6 stuff leaked for Rockstar? And people were like, oh man, GTA 6 looks like shit. It's like the game is in development. Like, they're not streaming the game development. It's not gonna like, it's gonna look like shit up until it doesn't. It's funny. It's a funny consideration that, yeah, I don't think a lot of game devs have to worry about, because most game development is done in relative secrecy until it's ready. But yeah, when you're streaming game dev, it's a different beast altogether. Anyway, I'm out of time. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. We'll be back tomorrow. So hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye.